seven skies. So what would khalaqa be?
Oh, created, not
There
guided.
you go. Yeah,
Yes.
so there you go, right? So that's why waiting. I'm like, okay, let him read forward and then he'll figure out. Okay, great.
أنعامهم, the cattle, وأنفسهم, themselves, and themselves. أفلا, then do not. يبصرون, they see.
Okay, perfect. Mashallah. Okay, Sister Sumaya, what do you think?
كلما أرادوا أن يخرجوا, anytime they desire to leave it.
Okay, very good.
كذابنا.
Sorry, what is Nadir?
Oh, warner.
Warner, very good. Yes, Warner. You're right. 25. Bismillah. So says وَيَقُولُونَ. Oh wow, this is, everybody should now see this and know this. That's probably one of the most common ones that we have seen. Wa, and then you have your يَقُولُونَ, the they verb. They say. Mata is, I think first time you're seeing mata. It is quite common, but we're seeing it for the first time, if I'm not wrong. When هذا, this al-wa'du, probably we have seen this before, the promise. In if kuntum, you are صادقين, truthful, from sidq, sad, dal, qaf, right? Okay, straightforward. 26. قل, say, إنما, only, al-ilmu, the knowledge, inda, with Allah, wa innama, and only, ana, I, Nadir, warner, mubin. No new words here, no new words here. Please challenge me if you don't agree. So it should be pretty straightforward for hopefully everyone, most of you. قُلْ إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ. So as you see, as you hear it being recited, hopefully you should just be understanding it in Arabic, inshallah. All right. فَلَمَّا, and when رَأَوْهُ, they will see it. It from who? زُلْفَةً, approaching, probably new word. I think, yeah, it is a new word for sure. See at another new word. Distressed. It will become distressed. What will become distressed? Wujuhu. So the faces will become distressed. Alladhina kafaru, those who disbelieve. Waqila, and it will be said, passive, it will be said, hada, this, alladhi, that which, kuntum, you used to, bihi, tad'un, you used to call out to. You used to call out to, used to make dua for, from dua. So, okay, so I think here you only have Siyat and Zulfa is probably new. Everything else is repeated, alhamdulillah. 28. Qul, say, ara'aytum, have you seen, have you considered, in if ahlakani. I don't think this is new. From halam kaf, I think we've seen this before. Ahlakani, destroys me. Me from me. Allahu, Allah destroys me. Woman, and whomsoever. Ma'iyya, whoever is ma'a is with. Ma'iyya, with me. The ya is giving you the meaning of me. Whoever is with me. Aw, or rahimana, he has mercy upon us. Faman, then who, yujiru, will protect. Yujiru will protect al-kafirin, the disbelievers, right? So who will protect the disbelievers? Min, from adab, punishment, alim, painful. So let's see. I think there is nothing new here. If you have been following along and you've been making friends with the vocabulary that you have been encountering so far, there is nothing new here. All are your previous friends. All words are words that you have seen before, potentially in different forms, but very likely in similar forms as well. Qul, say, huwa, he, ar-Rahman, the most gracious, amanna, we have believed, bihi, in him, wa alayhi, and upon him, tawakkalna, we have relied, we have put our trust. فَسَتَعْلَمُونَ, so soon you all will come to know, man who huwa fi, huwa he, fi in ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ, is in clear error. This one as well, potentially tawakkal, which is a very common word, but I don't think we have seen this in a Quranic setting before. Everything else we have seen before. And last verse, qul, say, ara'aytum, have you seen, in if asbaha, This probably we saw that yesterday. Asbaha, it becomes ma'ukum, your water. Ghawran, sunken, new word. Faman, then who, ya'tikum, will bring for you all, bima'in, water, ma'in, flowing. So a few new words here. Ma'in, ghawran, and asbaha, potentially 3 new words here. And that helps us complete it. I'm going to pause and see if you guys want to take a look at it and see if you have any questions.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
What would be the root word for Zulfatan? Zulfatan, I believe it is.
Yes, yeah. Zai, lam, fa.
Ah,
Okay. So yeah, that's it. Actually, there's nothing else, right? So if we look at it, where is it? Zulfatan here. Okay, so this the rounded ta is for feminine. You only have zai, lam, fa remaining. Let's see where else it comes. All right. So you have azlafna format to come near. And then, okay, Zulfatan, Zulafan. Yeah, so about 10-ish times. Okay, what else?
With
Mhm.
with the word, I'm sorry, with the word to see, sometimes it's like Ra'aitan or Ra'ait, and then sometimes it's Basriya.
Sometimes.
Is it the same or is it different?
Sorry, what was the other one? Sometimes it is what?
Basriya.
Oh, yes. Well, Basir is all seeing. It is similar, but Ra'aita is also from a perspective of not just like physically seeing. You will see that as also,
Okay.
have you considered, you thought about,
Okay.
and so on and so forth. Allahu Alam.
So it's not, it is literal to a point, but it's
Yeah, I've seen that again.
metaphorical.
I've seen it. Yeah, usually I've seen it with having a metaphorical meaning as well. This is obviously an observational statement, not a solid rule or what have you. Okay. All right. Let's do some reflections, inshallah.
I was just with those last few sections, Assalamu alaikum, when it's because there's a lot of kind of commands in a way, but looking at say, Huwa Rahman, so that is the person, the Alif Lam, but then Qul Ara'aytum, which seems like it's more in the, is it the Film Mudari? Is it because, I guess just, it's because it's just a series of Qul, and I was just looking at the next word.
Okay.
Is there some type of, I guess starting from 28. So 28, you have Qur Ara'aytum, did you see? So that's present tense. Qur Huwa Rahman. So
Ara'aytum is not present tense.
It's not, okay.
Right, that's past tense.
So is it more of a command?
Yeah.
Because
All
I'm looking at,
yes, all calls are commands, right? All calls are command.
So I'm looking at the Hamza in front of the Qur, in front of that Qur Ara'aytum. So the function of the Hamza in front of the Ara'aytum, is that more of the command? Is it, so it's not a command? It is a command.
It's a question. Qul is a command. Ara'aytum is a question, right? Have you seen?
Okay.
Or have you considered, if Allah were to destroy me and whoever is with me, or have mercy on it, right? On us, what's going to happen to you, right? What about you, right? So for us, it's going to be that, yeah, we might get destroyed, right? We might, have, physical defeat or what have you. Or Allah has mercy on us, He protects it, what have you. But what about the caffeine, right? They won't be protected from the painful punishment. So it's a question, to answer your question.
But so now we just looking at the Hamza in Ara'aytum, which is the question, and then in Ahlaqaniyan.
Yes.
So the differences between those as far as with, so that, because that's not the question, Ahlaqaniyan. So would it, the two functions of the Hamza in front of it?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Good. Okay. Yes.
Because it's the same as Qul Ara'aytum in Asbaha. So those are two functions, different functions of the Hamza.
Correct.
I
Correct.
found it, yes.
Yes. Okay. So I will give you a hint about that. And this is something we covered earlier. So basically, if you remember, we have something we said a form 4 of the word, right? So what happens in form 4, right? You're seeing what's happening here. For example, you have a hamza as part of the form in the past tense. You have a hamza as part of the form in the past tense. Okay, a sign of that is that the second letter or the second letter in that word or the first root letter would be in a sukoon state. Okay, and I'll give you 2 examples of that. So for example, one of the words we saw was fa'aslihu, so make peace, right? Wa aqsitu, and act justly, right? So usually it has a meaning of don't have it. I'll come. Okay. Okay, so as an example, maybe I should add it here. So as an example, one form of it is anzala, right? So here, yeah. So for example, yes. So you have akhraja. Yes, I think we have this example here, right? So for example, if you have kharaja, means he came out. Okay, but when you say akhraja, he brought out. Right? So for example, there's another common one like nazala, right? So if I say, he went down, I would say nazala, okay? But if I'm saying, okay, I'm bringing it down, then I would say anzala, right? So if I'm describing my action, I'll say anzala, right? And if it's like its own action, right, I'll say, okay, nazala, right? This is just going on its own. Okay, does that make sense? If not, I can just repeat it in different ways as well.
Sure.
Sorry, okay, does anybody would like me to repeat that?
Yes.
Okay, so first thing I'm saying is that there's a form. So we said, remember, there's different forms of the verb. So one form we saw is called form 2, where basically the second root letter gets doubled, right? That's the form. Okay, another common form in Quran is the form 4, which is basically you would always have a hamza coming before the word. Hamza always coming before. I mean, hamza is part of that structure, it's part of the template, right? Whatever it is, it's aslama, akhraja, anzala, there's always a hamza there. Okay, so that's my statement number 1. Okay, so is that statement clear that it's a form? So the sister was asking the question about where were we here? Okay, so this ara'aytum is a question, and you can see that ra has a fatha, it doesn't have a sukoon. However, the other examples is asbaha here. This is
the same. Yeah.
This is form 4. Okay, ahlakani, it's also form 4, right? And you see that the first root letter has a what? Sukoon in ahlakani, and here also you have a sukoon. So this is form 4. This is not a question.
Making it past. We see that form, is that because it looks like it's
Yes.
past. He submits.
Yeah, both are past. Yeah, araitum is also past, and this is also past. Yes.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
And then the second thing I was saying is, what is the difference? Okay, what is the difference? Like one of the things that it does is, so we were looking at one example. Okay, so maybe I need to add another example that's better. Example, nazala, where is this? Anzala. He sent down. Okay, and nazala, he came down. Okay, I'm just going to skip this to not. Okay, so these are 2 things that come. Let's just quickly grab snapshots of this anyways while we're at it. Quran dictionary. Boom. Noon Zai. Where is I? Sorry, my screen is flipped here. Go. Okay, so here you have Nazala, Nazala, and we have if I can find an example of Nazala, Nazala bihi ruhul Amin. Where is that in Quran? Nazala bihi ruhul Amin ala qalbika. Where is this?
Assalamu alaikum. I think we have few words in Surah Al-Qadr. Inna anzalnahu fi.
Yeah, that's Anzal, right? I'm looking at, okay, so Nazala bihi ruhul Amin. I can just look it up. Nazala bihi ruh Amin. Where does that come? Okay, 26,193. I just need to find 26,193. 26. That's how you figure out stuff. Live figuring. Okay, 26 is here. What is 193? Okay, so that's your Nazala. Okay, that's not. It's saying, yeah, that wouldn't fit. Okay, I need to think about it. Maybe I'll find some. But anyway, so this is hopefully clear, right? So one of the meaning that, so I think from kharaja and akhraja is clear. Kharaja, he came out, and akhraja, he caused something to come out. Okay, any other questions? All right, let's do some reflections. Who is going to go first for the last 6 ayahs from, okay, 25 to 30? Anything that you observe about Allah, qualities to avoid or to have, promises of Allah, a mindset, focus, or any other thing that comes to your mind. Inshallah, let's make it an I sentence, something that you can actually benefit as opposed to just like, you know, interesting tidbits. That will be my recommendation. Okay, I have the translation on as well. Okay, let's hear hopefully from 5 of you. Bismillah. Text or voice. Oh, I see some chat messages. Haven't got up. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Just in general, it's almost the last 5 ayahs are similar to me in the ayahs of Surat Ar-Rahman, which it doesn't actually ask you which of the favors, but it tells you different things that are in doubt that shouldn't be in doubt, that Allah makes clear to us, and uses more metaphors than direct instruction, in my humble opinion.
Okay, very good. MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair.
To me, so like with these last verses is just trying not to control the things that you can't control. So even for the basic thing with our water, we think that we control a lot of things in our life, that, oh, if I don't do this, this is what's going to happen if I don't do that. But it's like you can't control even the water that you have. You can't control if, so it's up to Allah whether He's going to forgive or not to forgive. So, it's putting truly that trust in Allah and truly just relinquishing it back, our day to day. That's kind of what I see with these last ayahs.
Yeah, very good. Jazakallah khairan. Right, let's get 3 more participation. So one of the things with reflection, the way I view it, it doesn't have to be something really unique or unheard of, right? It's a form of conditioning and reminder. So for example, if you work out, you go to exercise, most of the time you will do similar stuff that you're probably done yesterday or things that you did last week and what have you. But doing that repetition is what keeps your, help you to retain the strength and then grow over that strength, right? So that's the purpose primary purpose of reflection, to condition yourself, to remind yourself, to keep yourself in check, to keep yourself grounded, to keep yourself connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then based on what's going on in your life, you may see it in a different lens. It may hit you differently and what have you, based on what you have been thinking about, what you have experienced and what have you, right? But that's not the thing. Oh, okay, let me just come up with cool tidbits and what have you, because that's just like different forms which may or may not be beneficial, right? It may be a cool statement to say, but so don't say, oh, okay, because I'm not finding something new, it's not worth thinking about, it's not worth saying out loud.
One thing that comes to me is a reminder that a promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because when it says and they say, when is a promise if you should be truthful? So the promise of the day of judgment. And for me, it's just a reminder that, you know, not only do I take this as a promise of when is like it's going to happen, but just like this promise is going to happen, Allah's promises with everything else that He mentions, whether it's, you know, Him being with those who are patient, with any kind of promise that Allah has made to us, it's a reminder that every promise is true that's going to come to us. So I think it's just that reminder that no matter what happens, have faith in me and I'll be there for you, because I am with you wherever you are. So that's just
Very good. Jazakumullah khairan. Okay, I'm going to just take a pass of my own, inshallah. Yeah, and actually some of these really hit me hard based on what I had been thinking for the last 12 hours or so, almost. I'm going to share that with you in a second and be vulnerable about it. But this was a really, this is something I needed as a reminder. So it hit me well. I'll share with you in a second. Okay, so this is something, right? 25 and... yeah, actually 25, 20, actually, yeah, I would say 25, 26, and 28, right? So last night, almost as I was in my bed, notification popped up in my phone from Reuters with what you guys may have heard of what happened last night for our time. And it was kind of like, to me, was like sort of a shocker, right? That, you know, people can do whatever they want. And I was a bit hurt about it in terms of the state of potentially physical weakness, I would say, that sometimes we see our ummah facing. Even though we are like billions of people, it seems like people can just come and do whatever they want to do, right? May Allah take care of them. So that was something that I was a bit concerned about or sad about, or what have you, just from that whole political perspective and power and the state of ummah and whatnot. And I think this kind of speaks to me about, you know, that this does not necessarily mean that Islam is weak or Allah is not able to take care of people who are oppressors or what have you. And so this is something to think about, right? How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here that, look, the knowledge of when things will turn around is with Allah, right? And this is a pretty powerful mindset to think about that. Look, okay, if Allah, and I'm not saying this is the only meaning, but for me, if Allah causes us to have some sort of a defeat, right, or some sort of a lack of success or empowerment, domination, what have you, at the end of the day, if you look at the long-term picture, everyone will get what they deserve. Right, so oppressors, from whatever side they may be, they wouldn't go unhurt, they wouldn't go unaccounted for, and so on and so forth. So this was really powerful for me to see it coming in. Again, you know, obviously I wouldn't have experienced this. I was reading it like maybe a week ago, what have you, right? So sometimes it's just a matter of what's going on in your mind, and then you see it, and then it becomes really powerful. And I think this is also a very powerful verse for me to live your life by, but a mindset of, look, I believe in Rahman, right? So I believe in Allah, and especially you're using the attribute of mercy of Allah and putting your trust in Allah. So look, I'm going to put my best effort, and then I'm going to leave the results to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'm not necessarily doing it for results, which is really important, because sometimes if you don't see the results, or you don't see the results fast enough, you can really be disappointed. You might quit your efforts, you might drop what you're doing. However, if you keep the right perspective, the right mindset is that, look, I don't control the results. I think someone else was also mentioning that, probably Sister Rashida, I don't consider the results, but I don't control the results, but I do control the effort. I do control where my time is going, where my resources is going, where my attention is going, where my focus is going. So I'm going to put in best effort, and I'm going to rely on Allah for the results. So yeah, these are some of the things that come to my mind. With that, I know, alhamdulillah, most of you have been consistently putting in, like, alhamdulillah, 9 hours at least with Quran every week, just for this course, and perhaps other areas as well. So let's keep that going, inshallah. Perhaps you cannot maintain 9 hours per week as we go out of July and into August and September and fall, what have you. However, keep something happening, right? Something that you can maintain with consistency. Obviously, take a look at AQL. We have a lot of different programs, from recitation to memorization to reflections and understanding. This was our first summer program, first summer activity, and hopefully I would thank you for that trust. Thank you for participating and giving your time and attention, and also the feedback that you have been giving and the feedback that you will give, inshallah. We'd love to hear that and to make better and better programs for you. Along with that, obviously, take a look around you. You may have other programs, other institutes, what have you, whatever helps you keep connected with Quran, from recitation to understanding to memorization and reflections. Keep it up. One thing I suggested yesterday was one of the great ways to retain what you've learned is to teach this to someone else, right? So pick a surah. I would suggest Surat Mulk. You can pick, well, any other surah as well. And, you know, find someone, 1 or 2 people in your friend circle or your family. Teach them, hey, these are the pronouns, you know, go over it with them, help them build vocabulary. You can do 1 verse a week, you know, you can do 5 verses a week, but have something going on. That will be one of the great ways for you to retain, right? Because if you don't practice it and you don't retain it, you know, you might look back in 6 months and, you know, most of it would be gone. So keep that in mind. Another thing I suggested yesterday was grabbing word by word from Darus Salam. So that could be a useful thing as well. Like it's a good 3-volume set. You can keep at home, a hardcover book. So even if you read for 5-10 minutes a day, it will give you that sort of understanding at a word level as well. So that's really important to definitely put the intention to make dua for it and to commit to doing something ongoing. And feel free to share with us on the Telegram group or here what you're doing, maybe monthly check-in or what have you. Keep us posted. Let's push each other and let's aim higher.